What does ROFLMAO stand for?
What ROFLMAO means?
I use it with my spouse at least twice a week.
I thought it meant really overly fidgety llamas making awesome origami.
Ready and open for light mishaps and oranges.
Running out of figs and lemons, making another order.
Red and orange flamingos like moist avocado oil. Rolling on the floor like it's my adult occupation.
It's much easier just to type the letters.
But maybe not.
Adulting's hard. Welcome to another episode of Truth Be Told. This is a fun one. I encourage you to stick around all the way to the end because we've got a lot of fun stuff kind of peppered in there. So again, this month the theme is play. This week it is all around laughter and, how we kind of addressed last week. How do we, talk about these things when there's so much heaviness in the world? I want to encourage us to take all the steps that we can in order to keep ourselves as buoyant as possible, because there is all this heavy stuff going on in the world. And us people that are doing these spiritual types of work, we have an important role to play in that. So let's recognize, the privilege and blessing we have to be able to create this kind of content for you to be able to, take some time away, be in this little bubble for a little while and just sit back and enjoy. So I hope you really enjoy this one. We had a lot of fun making it. Here's Truth Be Told.
Why does Waldo always wear stripes? He's too afraid to get spotted. Kid says to his dad, "Dad, are bugs good to eat?" The dad says, "Oh, let's not talk about those kind of things at the dinner table." So 20 minutes later, the dad goes to the kid, "All right, so what did you want to know?" The kid goes, "Don't worry about it. There was a bug in your soup, but it's gone now." Why couldn't the bicycle stand up on its own? It was just too tired. I go to KFC the other day. The kid says he wants the kid's meal with the leg. So I say, "Kid's meal with the leg." And the lady goes, "What side?" And I sit in this moment of contemplation of such an odd decision. And after a minute, I go, "The right? I didn't know there was a difference." And she laughs for what seemed like an eternity and says, "No, honey, what side would you like with the leg? Mashed potatoes or wedges?" I was wondering why the ball was getting bigger, and then it hit me. Why did the cabbage win the race? Because it was ahead. These are awful. It's really unfortunate that Judaism, Christianity, and Islam have been at war for centuries. Hinduism, on the other hand, never had any beef.
Welcome to the Neuroscience of Laughter 101. Bet you didn't think you'd ever be getting this lesson from a unicorn. Laughter, is it really the medicine? So, based on scientific and anthropological studies, hundreds of years ago, laughter was what kind of kept us together. Going way back, laughter, this physical, this sound of laughter was used to demonstrate that, hey, that over there, it's safe, it's okay, so we can relax, we can let our guard down, we can not be reactive. And so it became this thing that kept social groups together, and there was a really vivid and pointed cue to safety and connection in groups. Now, it's the belief that over centuries, these pathways in our brain pretty much kept the same way. It kind of followed our evolution, and that those ways of reacting kind of stayed with us. And so it's not surprising to understand this, and the fact that when we laugh, we feel relaxed, we feel like we let our guard down, maybe we release a little tension. And so we can see how the early evolution of our brains kind of kept this really important intrinsic aspect of who and what we are. Laughter is a surprisingly complicated mechanism, and it activates several areas in our brain. So it's believed that our prefrontal cortex is activated when we, through visual cues, through our senses, when we see something. And then we take those things into our brain and we think, is that funny? Is that not funny? And we make these judgments in our prefrontal cortex. And then if we find something that, really triggers that, this is really funny, then this activates our limbic system. And then this in turn activates our motor limbic system. And we have that physical response of that sound of laughter, that kind of physical, muscular, sort of bouncing laughter, I like to say. Laughter is a potent releaser of endorphins. And so when we laugh, it releases the endorphins via our opioid receptors. Now, these are the same receptors that opioids attach to. And so therefore, it's not too hard to imagine that the same feeling of euphoria and pleasurable experiences are felt within our bodies when we laugh. Laughter has the similar effects to antidepressants. So laughter is shown to release serotonin, which we know is critical in our mental health and having that feeling of balance and that feeling of positive or elevated mood. Laughter improves mental function and mental health. So of course, as it releases and encourages the releases of serotonin, we have this feeling of release of tension in our bodies and our minds, and it just creates this more positive sense of well-being. And did you know that laughter actually is good for our cardiovascular system? It actually stimulates the body's own anti-inflammatory responses. So actually, not only are we improving our mental health, but our physical health as well. And laughter is contagious. And this is specifically important in social groups. Have you ever been in that situation where you start laughing and then someone else is laughing and then the whole group is laughing? And so it becomes this really amazing, contagious experience. And so I'm releasing endorphins, and then you're releasing endorphins, and now we're all releasing endorphins. And we experience this individually and collectively. And not only does this serve to boost our own stuff, but actually the stuff of those around us. So maybe laughter is the medicine.
I love the onesie. just gonna put that out there.
It takes courage.
I was going to wear it tonight, but it was so hot. So I decided I'd give it a rest.
Yeah. You mean temperature?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
You can't say we don't have fun. I'm just saying.
Not judging. Yep.
Yeah, no.
Everybody's got their thing. That's cool.
It's kind of refreshing to hear the science of it, because like this, I think this idea of laughter is the best medicine can kind of sound a little woo and butterflies and rainbowy kind of thing, right? But like, no, it's real. Like there is like not that the butterflies and rainbow stuff can't also be real, but
right.
To know that it is also grounded in something that is very provable, and that there's even science behind it. That's kind of a cool thing. Like, yeah, there's a real, Chris, you were saying that before we even started, right? There is this real reaction, physiological reaction in the body to something like laughter.
And it was real interesting. I mean, just a lot of the research and the science behind it. Like, this is not just like recently that our bodies have done this. I mean, this is just, over billions of years. It's this,
yeah.
It served this sort of this purpose of alerting and connecting and relating to our environment, what's going on and what's safe and what's not safe. And it was just so interesting, this mechanism, this positive mechanism that improves our overall well-being. Like it was implanted way back then, and it has survived and survived and survived and survived. So I think that just points to like this foundational importance of it, because it has survived millions of years of evolution of our brains.
That's interesting to think of it that way, that it is like a piece of us, that there was potential for us to evolve it and I suppose even evolve away from or devolve away from. I don't know, but yeah, that's really interesting. Yes, it has stuck around. It is effective,
and it's universal. Even though we don't all find the same things funny, it is this universal experience too, which I thought was kind of cool to think about.
Yeah, I like that aspect that it demonstrates safety. Like when somebody's laughing, you're at ease, and it kind of points to that same thing about like the power of how a smile can be disarming. When you see somebody coming towards you, they have a smile on their face, like you immediately just feel a little less threatened.
Unless they're laughing at you, and then maybe
well, that happens occasionally too.
The nuance.
I love that whole idea of like the physiological response, and it makes sense because when we're feeling stressed or anxious, we're well aware that our body then releases adrenaline and cortisol and whatever else, free radicals, and how that's detrimental to the body. So it makes sense that there's a kind of an exact opposite of that then releases the feel-good chemicals or endorphins and all that stuff.
It's good stuff.
Good
and
point.
I mean, and the unicorn outfit too just enhances the information.
I mean,
how can you not feel a little bit more smiley and giggly when you're wearing a unicorn onesie?
It took me a while to actually not giggle when I was I'm just going to be honest.
Oh, that's brilliant.
A weasel walks into the bar, and the bartender says, "Wow, I've never served a weasel before. What can I get for you?" "Pop," goes the weasel. "Why does M&M prefer the Johnson & Johnson vaccine?" "You only get one shot." "I don't trust those trees. They seem kind of shady." "How do you make Lady Gaga angry?" "You poke her face." "Have you heard about the new restaurant called Karma? There's no menu. You get what you deserve." "What is Forrest Gump's password?" "One, Forrest, one. My wife told me if I buy her one more stupid gift, she'll burn it. So I bought her a candle." "Whoever stole my antidepressants, I hope you're happy. I once got fired from a juice canning factory. Apparently, I couldn't concentrate."
ROFLMAO. We are talking all about laughter this week. Did you know that everyone laughs? Like literally everyone. Since the beginning of people, we have had laughter. Every culture, every society, laughter, as far as we know, has always existed. And it seems perhaps that laughter is actually a crucial part of our society, of culture, of being part of a society at all. Laughter is actually one of the key components of us seeing and finding the humanity in each other. So when we take the time to be with one another and really see each other, there's actually this huge bonding, this great bonding that happens through laughter, through humor, through telling jokes, through spending that time with each other. We look ridiculous when we laugh. So we have to put our guard down to be in that state of laughter, to be comfortable enough with with each other to laugh. We have to have our guard down. We have to be in this safe place. So not only is laughter the thing that allows us to see each other, but it's also this gauge of comfort that we have with one another and our ability to be in a space together. our ability to let our guards down can be measured by how willing we are to actually engage in humor and laughter together, and to what degree. If you can ugly laugh in front of a group of people, you know that you are feeling safe. And we subconsciously all know that you are, in fact, feeling safe. You feel safe with us. You feel safe with me. And so we then tend to do the same thing. We also tend to put our guard down being around people that are laughing, especially when we're doing that ugly laughing, like that really, like, the whole body moves, your face gets distorted, that whole ugly laugh thing. When we're around that, it is contagious. And so we actually experience this bonding effect when we are in that great state of laughter, when we can experience that with each other, when we're willing to put our guards down enough to let other people into that space and also show them not only that we're willing, but that it is, in fact, a safe space. I think it's a safe space because I'm laughing. You think it's a safe space, now you're laughing, now everyone else can start laughing too. And so this is something that has occurred, it seems, throughout human history, that we have actually bonded continuously through laughter. So find some time to laugh. Find people to laugh with. It seems perhaps this might be the medicine that our society is looking for. That space to open up with people, to laugh together, to be willing to see the humanity in one another, to find groups of people to laugh with, to find that we are actually all human.
Wait, we're all human?
I'm pretty sure most of us.
Y'all are my ugly laughing people. I mean.
Wait, you calling us ugly? Whoa.
Hey.
The people you can ugly laugh with.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Both of those things.
Both, yeah. Yeah.
It's good stuff. I like that. It is. I mean, of course, we can be by ourselves and laugh, and that's fun. But there's something about being, like, hanging out with a group of people, and something funny happens, and just this feeling of this kind of collective experience. And for me, it's like those are like the best nights where you get home, you're like, oh my God, I'm so sore from laughing so hard. I mean, I had some coworkers that we would go out to lunch, and I would laugh so hard the next day. I would be sore because I had laughed so hard. And just that experience and how I felt close to them, and I felt this kind of shared, like you said, like just this shared humanity with them. And those are some beautiful times to think about. And I think that those times we don't foster enough. At least I don't think I do.
Yeah.
I mean, what a blessing it is to have like those funny people around. I've worked some jobs where there's just people there that have like, you're in the wrong field. You should be in stand-up. That, like, oh my God, they would just make everything like more enjoyable when you're just constantly laughing.
Yeah.
Gifts.
Yeah. I guess I don't know. I growing up, I just thought everyone's family was this funny, but maybe not. But I just grew up in a house and an extended family of people who enjoyed laughing and having fun. And so, everything was turned into a joke some way or another. But anyway, some of this conversation remind me of something we did as kids. Do you ever do that thing where one person lies down on the floor and then somebody else lies down perpendicular to them with their head on the first person's stomach, and then the next person lies down perpendicular to the second person with their head on them, and so you kind of just create this like chain of people, and then the first person starts laughing, so the second person's head starts bouncing on their stomach. It's ridiculous. So then, of course, it just creates this, because then they start laughing because their head's bouncing uncontrollably, and then the next person, it just creates this chain. It's some of the most ridiculous fun you would ever have. Now, I think you probably need to know this group of people well in order to do that. But
now that's the idea for our first SEC retreat.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
We have our first activity plan.
That's right. Yeah. But just even talking about, just even talking about laughter and play and all this that we've been talking about so far this month, like starts getting me to think back to, oh man, hanging out with the cousins and the extended family and the nonsense that would go on. It's good stuff. But I do think this whole idea of like regaining our humanity with each other, I think we've been on this, the larger right? We've been on this path of individualism for so long that we tend to have lost some of that ability or willingness to see the humanity in the others, right? In people who we other, but like there's no others in laughter. There's no others in these events where where there's nothing left but the humanity of us, and that can go, really tragic events have that effect also. But I think, in laughter and in play, like if we can allow ourselves to do that and kind of start playing with each other again, I think there's a healing effect beyond what we have recognized that is possible there.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm on board. I'm on board with that.
Let's do it.
So we're not done quite yet, but we wanted to take a moment to let you know a little bit about SEC and this crazy bunch of folks that you're seeing today, and how you can get involved in whatever way works best for you. So the Soul Evolution Collaborative is an innovative spiritual collaboration dedicated to the intentional evolution and authenticity of the human soul. And that's a mouthful. And so this is a safe space to belong and be seen and to ugly laugh with. And so here are a few of the many ways that you can get involved. So Tuesdays, Truth Be Told, 7 p.m. Eastern, which is what you're watching right now, is one way to get involved. Thursdays, The Gathering at 7 Eastern Time. This is a group experience where we take an even closer look at the topic for the week and how it shows up in our own lives and from our own personal experiences. And we experience this healing and transformative power of belonging. And so this opportunity on Thursday gives us a chance to do that. Sundays, we have Strip Down Sunday at 12:30, and it's not what you think it is. And this is where we offer a streamlined approach to your Sunday experience through a mostly short and sweet approach to our weekly theme. And coming soon, we're super excited, our second Sunday experience, which will be on Sunday evening. So stay tuned in the coming weeks for more information about that. We're super excited to be bringing some new stuff to you in the coming months. So to get more information about all these events, stay up to date on new offerings, get weekly reminders, weekly blogs, emails, check our website, soulevolutioncollaborative.org. You'll find everything you would need to know and a little bit more about this community, Soul Evolution Collaborative. And now, back to Truth Be Told.
Okay. Hey, Rye.
Hey, what?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting
Moo!
That's a good one.
Hey, Rye.
Hey.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting starfish.
Interruption. Can't even say it. Okay, go ahead.
You should do a bloopers.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow who?
Oh, shit.
Craziness.
Love you, Mina.
So my wife just left out of the room and I'm kind of recharged because I just had to laugh. We were talking about, stories that we could share on Truth Be Told, something funny about ourselves that, can help make people laugh with us. And she just left the room and started snickering because she remembered one story that I considered briefly and then realized it was probably inappropriate, but it's a funny one. And I can feel the effects from that. That laughter is in my body. I am more vibrant, I'm buoyant, I am bubbly, because that's what laughter does for us. So this week, the theme of laughter is the best medicine, they're on to something. I want you to think back at some point in your life when you maybe found yourself laughing uncontrollably. Possibly it was in a situation where it was inappropriate. Maybe you were in church or like a work meeting, and whatever, something happened and there's usually, a accomplice that is laughing with you, and it's uncontrollable, and it feels almost like a buzz. You are lifted up. And then I want you to think about, like, when you know it's inappropriate, you got to make a stop. And so you get yourself kind of tamped down, and you're just almost, but your whole body's tingling, your brain is tingling and fizzy, and you get yourself back down there. And then that person you're with is like, and that's all it takes, and all of a sudden you lose it again. Do you know that feeling I'm talking about? Maybe it's been a long time. For me, it has been a fairly long time. I remember, though, it happened sometime in the last few months, and I noticed when it did, I'm like, wow, when's the last time that I just laughed like uncontrollably like that? And it is an amazing feeling. And as Rev Ryan this week is telling us a bit about the science behind why it's such a good feeling and all the health benefits that come from it. It just feels good, and that is amazing. So I want to encourage us. I want to encourage myself, because this is coming up for me at a time when I can really use a little bit more laughter in my life. I'm finding myself stressed. I've got a lot of pressing deadlines that are kind of overwhelming, and that means some things have to get put on the back burner. Some things have to get sped up. But I know when I am at my healthiest and in my best state of mind, I am more efficient, and I'm able to get those things done with higher quality in less time if I am taking the time to take care of myself in the process. We know meditation helps. We know ample sleep helps. We know a healthy diet helps. And laughter helps. So it's one of those kind of, we can bring it in with other treatments, with other practices, and it just kind of amplifies. It's one more tool in our bag to aid us in our personal growth, personal transformation, and overall level of well-being. So one last thing is I just want to offer a couple of suggestions to help get you started on this. As I was doing research for what I wanted to talk about, I discovered some comments in laughter yoga sessions that were on YouTube, and people were expressing that they hadn't laughed in years. And if this is you, I want to encourage you to give it a shot. Look at a laughter yoga YouTube video and just play along. It's called induced laughter, but they have fun little tools to help encourage you to do this. And you can get all these benefits of laughter even if you haven't laughed for decades, and I would highly recommend it. I want to go as far as to say, I promise you, if you give this a shot, you will feel some sort of a release, some sort of energy moving through you, and that can't be a bad thing, right? I am unaware of any harmful side effects from laughter, so I want to encourage you, do whatever you got to do to get out there and laugh. Maybe it's going to go to a comedy club. Maybe it's just find one of your old favorite videos or TV shows, pull up some reruns and laugh. But laughter yoga is one more way, even as weird as it sounds or as weird as it feels to do it. If you're missing something and you're still just finding yourself in a state of depression or anxiety or fear or worry or anger, if you haven't tried laughter, find one way to really do that. And like I talked about last week, when I'm in a deep funk, comedy, stand-up, TV shows, they're not going to do it for me. Laughter yoga is one more way that you can actually kind of force it. But after you do it for even just a minute or two, following along with their steps, it starts to release that in your body, and it becomes a natural thing, and it has all those same benefits. So I encourage anybody that hasn't laughed in years to give it a shot. There's really something to it, and man, it just feels good.
You look like you're at the comedy club.
Yeah, I dig it.
Night at the Improv.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Stand-up night with Chris.
that'll be next week's segment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just need to let you know I only ever laugh at appropriate jokes, and have never.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And
I was hoping
certainly,
that you would tell us behind the scenes the inappropriate story, but
I can do that.
okay.
There was I came up with like a few. I'm like, oh, there's a time. I'm like, nope.
Nope.
That's probably not. Nope.
I
yeah,
have a lot of those too.
no stories tonight. Yeah. But my wife and brother-in-law, we can't look at each other at a funeral. It's just not good.
I know. Funerals do seem to bring that out. Like there's just something about that awkwardness, and like maybe it's part of like the need to lighten it a little bit, but something. Yep, I know exactly what you mean.
Well, it kind of tips our balance. Then we try to overcompensate, and then that's when it kind of comes. And then once it's hard to hard to stop.
Which is interesting because like when you really think about it, I think we have this thing. We have at least I have this thinking like awkward moments shouldn't be awkward, and they're awkward because of something that we're doing, and so we're not doing it right. So how do we make it not awkward? But like maybe there are just awkward times in life, and so maybe our response to that awkwardness is not wrong, right? Like there is something weird and uncomfortable, especially like a funeral. Like there is a weird, uncomfortable sense that can easily come up at a funeral, and maybe laughter is not a bad thing. Like we have these rules, right? Like there's a funeral in a box. It's like these are the rules for this thing, and so maybe we just need to give ourselves some freedom to like be able to react however we are needing to react. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, even in our own spiritual communities and our own events and things that we do, that like I think what we've been talking is we don't have to be so serious,
right?
And it's like bringing all those aspects to ourselves to all these experiences and having a little fun with it.
Yeah. I mean, this has been a challenging month to come up with content and talks, but at the same time, like, I think it's good for us to really like reassess and kind of look at things like, man, we have been taking things like really serious for a long time. Did they really have to be?
And I found it weird that it was so difficult for the three of us to come up with stuff that is funny and that is playful, because I mean, I think we're three of the funniest people around. And so it was so interesting. And so, what came up for me was like this expectation that when you're doing something like this, then we have to show up this way, and we have to have this kind of measured presentation of things. That way we can, be well received, all these sorts of things. And that was like, oh yeah, that's for me. It's like, that's in the background. It's, and so it really gave me pause of kind of practicing what we preach, so to speak, about the authenticity, like showing up as we are, and we can be some really goofy folks. And so being able to do that, is she
case in point right here.
Point. So that's okay. It's okay. That maybe we set the example, right? Letting our hair down a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Good to do.
It is. All right. So thank you so much for joining us. As you can tell, maybe you can't tell, so we're going to let you know. We have absolutely the most amazing job in the world that we could ever have. And it is just so much fun to explore these topics, all of the topics like this, with you each and every week. And it is our desire to not only share what we have learned, but also to journey alongside with you, alongside each one of you as we navigate this adventure of life. It is our mission at Soul Evolution Collaborative to bring forth this ancient wisdom, the ancient teachings, spirit and spiritual principles that have really been around forever, and bring them forth in new and innovative ways. So if you would like to support this mission and its continued evolution, we invite you to go to soulevolutioncollaborative.org and click on the donate button in the menu. All donations are tax deductible and serve to support this evolving ministry in its vision of personal transformation and communal evolution. So once again, thank you so much for all of your support, all of the ways that you participate. And some of you, we will see you Thursday. And for everyone else, we will see you next week.